Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question is to the Premier. Premier, last time you and I had a conversation in this House, you were kind enough to give me an A for creativity. So in return, I think you deserve an A in your mastery of backroom deals. Last week, we found out that your can-do attitude will cost Ontario students at least $63 million in classroom funding. You've deprived those students to ensure that the working families' two largest donors, OSSTF and ETFO, have $63 million more reasons to spend another $3 million in election advertising. Premier, can you tell us exactly what the $63 million was earmarked for that has now been redirected to the union's pockets?
Thank you. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, as I've said before, Mr. Speaker, there is no new money being redirected into these contracts, Mr. Speaker. It's money within the contracts that was found that has been able to be applied to some of the implementation of the different parts of the agreement, Mr. Speaker. So, you know, I would have thought that the member opposite would have been able to talk to some of his constituents and would have realized that actually parents and kids are very pleased that their teachers and support staff are delivering extracurriculars, Mr. Speaker, that there's a different tone in the schools, that the feeling among teachers is changing, and that they understand that this government, as we have for the last 9.5 years, really want to work with them and want to work with them to improve the education system. I would have thought that he might have had a chance to talk to some constituents about that.
Thank you.
Back to the Premier. Clearly, arithmetic wasn't your strong suit. I can tell you what the $63 million should have been earmarked for. And further to your response, I did speak with a young teacher here in Toronto who teaches at an inner-city school here just the other day. I was shocked when he told me that for his mandatory civics class of 30 students, there were only 10 textbooks. Premier, I was astonished when he also told me that there was not a single computer nor a single internet connection in any of the classrooms. Premier, these inner-city students are suffering the consequences of your extracurricular political activities. Premier, how do you expect these students to get an A when your failed leadership only provides them with an F in resources?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I think the member opposite knows that for the last 9.5 years we have put hundreds of millions of dollars into resources for teachers, Mr. Speaker, that there is more money for classroom supplies, Mr. Speaker. I'm not suggesting that there isn't more to do, Mr. Speaker. I'm not suggesting that there can't continue to be improvements. There absolutely do need to. But the reality is, Mr. Speaker, that
this is the second time, which means it's the last time before the warning for the member from Renfrew and the member from Lanark. You asked the question. I want you to listen to the answer. And the member from Eglinton Lawrence does not help me one bit by doing what he's doing. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The bottom line, Mr. Speaker, is that we really believe that it is in the best interest of the children of this province that their teachers are able to work with the government, Mr. Speaker, that they have a respectful dialogue with the government, because, Mr. Speaker, if that doesn't happen, then we see what happened under the previous government, Mr. Speaker, where the communication broke down, where there were 26 million days lost because of labour action, because there was no respectful discussion, Mr. Speaker. Our priority is to improve our school system, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Your question.